That's 6-2 and ranked in Class 3A, one of the better teams, a top 10 team in 3A. So excited for that matchup. We're going to talk to Coach Akins about that.
Hey, by the way, did Walker Valley move up in the rankings? I haven't seen the rankings.
They stay steady at number 6.
That is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Well, so I believe it was Powell. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think it was Knox Powell that had a loss to a 6A team. They're the only team that lost ahead of Walker Valley in 5A.
And they stayed ahead of them.
And similar to that Bradley loss Walker Valley has earlier in the year, you look at their record, you look at the meat and potatoes of things, couldn't justify bumping the Mustangs ahead of them. Which, listen, that's something I told Coach Akins when I spoke with him earlier today. I said, hey, that's something else just to fuel the fire.
That's true. That's true.
And high school kids pay attention to that kind of stuff.
The disrespect.
And listen, we talked yesterday with Chris Brown, head coach at Cleveland. Of course, all of our high school football coverage presented by Food City here on the drive, but talked with Coach Brown. Great interview with Chris Brown. Of course, those guys came off their first win last week. Big win over Bearden. And looking to make a run here against Hardin Valley and Farragut. They win those 2 games.
They're in.
Cleveland is in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. And I know Hardin Valley is a little bit better than what I think what their record indicates. Like they've given people some fits, but so have the Raiders. I mean, you look at who the Raiders have played, and I feel like they get better and better and better each and every week. And really, a lot of that too comes with conditioning. Like a lot of these guys are game ready for 4 quarters because they've had to be. But I think those are 2 winnable games that you could see all 3 teams in our town in the playoffs.
You know, when I did the Tullahoma game, I saw a lot of potential with that Cleveland team. Now, they played some really, really good defenses after that, and it didn't show. But when you saw or you watched that game against Tullahoma, you're like, there's some football players on this roster. Not as many as you'd like. So I think that, I wasn't shocked when I saw that Cleveland came away with a big win on Friday night. And like you said, Andy, they win these last – basically the playoffs began for them this past Friday night. They just win. Win and you advance. Win and you advance.
You know what it reminds me of? Notre Dame's schedule.
That's exactly right.
Got to win every single game to survive. You want to make the playoff, you got to win every game from here on out.
Well, and you can kind of take a UCLA stance of not a new head coach, but a new season. Like it's when you get that first win and now you need 2 more. UCLA's I loved what Signetti said. He goes, "We're playing a 3-0 ball team. We're playing a team that is 3-0. That's 3-0 in our conference. That changed some things up, and that's kind of where Cleveland said, like, yes, those games happened, but like you got the win, and now your goal is in front of you. You've got 2 more games that you got to win.
Coach Brown, head coach of Blue Raiders yesterday, did say this. He said, seeing the improvement from week to week is exciting. Because you're dealing, and these are his words, you're dealing with 14 and 15-year-old kids who are starting on Friday night that have not advanced in puberty yet, that don't have their driver's license yet, but they're learning how to play ball on Friday night. And he said when all that other stuff comes along, get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think about it when you put it in that perspective. That young, holy Toledo. Yeah. I mean, my gosh.
Well, I mean, as a coach, I've watched it happen. Like I've been on a team that went 3-17 or 3-14 because they were all 7th graders playing against 8th graders, and then when their 8th grade bodies came in, they went on a run and finished 4th in state.
Got that experience under your belt too.
Well,
you can't put a price tag on that.
There's nothing to blink at anymore.
Yeah.
Once you've
seen it all, you've experienced it all.
Once you've seen it, once went against it, like there's no more blinking at it anymore. And so that's kind of what the Raiders are doing this season is they're taking their licks and they're learning. But boy, I'd hate to be on the other side of them next year.
And they've got a true weapon at quarterback in McGowan. That kid is probably one of the better quarterbacks in the area, and just because of the prior games, Jim, you kind of mentioned it. When you start off with such a young group surrounding you, you're feeling pressure all the time. You're being rushed. You don't get to present the same type of abilities that you look over at Walker Valley, what Chase Stevens is doing right now. He's got time to throw the football, and look who he's throwing the football to. He's throwing the football to weapons. The weapons for McGowan are starting to develop. There's a couple older. I don't want to completely take away the seniors, the seniors, the seniors.
What do you think this is, Fiesta?
Yeah, it used to be next door, Fiesta 99.1. Now Cleveland's Oldies. Great station, by the way. But the other seniors that are on that team, McGowan only a junior, but there's guys in that locker room that are older that are contributing. But when you look at numbers, it is a youth movement over there at Cleveland. Don't forget about those seniors.
Yeah,
That's right.
Well, and here's the thing: the game starts slowing down. Like, ultimately, for these guys, you got to imagine what Friday night looks like to a bunch of freshmen and sophomores.
And you're seeing it happen the progress within the season.
Yeah, the game starts to slow down, and even like, okay, McGowan's pressured, but now he's like the information that he's dissecting in the time that's speeding up, and the game itself is slowing down.
Yeah,
So
the stuff that he endured in August and September is helping him here in October.
And let's not forget, that was a very front-loaded schedule.
Oh, my God.
Very front-loaded.
Very. Maybe the most front-loaded schedule in the whole state, honestly, when you look at all their opponents. And it was ridiculous, but you know what? Here they are. They've won they're on a one-game. Can you say a one-game winning streak? There have to be two to become a streak.
I think it's got to be 2 games to be a winning streak.
They've won one game. They won.
They're in the win column.
They won their most recent game. Let's put it that way.
Well, since today's Walker Valley Day, I'm excited to talk to Coach Akins, not just about last Friday night, but about last Saturday as well. That my dogs and his Rebels had a fun game on Saturday.
I wonder if Coach Akins did any yoga before the game at Lenore City last week. Lane Kiffin went. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Went viral. Lane Kiffin and his yoga instructors, two young ladies that he took a photo with before the Georgia game, and making sure that he got his body and his mind right.
Well, it's so funny because, this past weekend, I was kind of out of pocket. So I missed a lot of this kind of stuff. Did I see some games? Did I see some highlights? Yes. But all the other stuff that's surrounded, I didn't see nothing like that.
So what I love about that game, though, is like Kiffin and Kirby are like genuine friends. Like, they genuinely like each other, and that's what kind of scares me about him going to a Florida or him going to an Auburn.
I'm telling you, man.
Somewhere like that, because that rivalry, those 2 games are every year, whether it be Auburn or Florida. Those are every year games for us, but like, they're genuine friends, and so like, to see them goofing off beforehand, Kirby's presser where he says, "Hey, Lane got me 2 tickets to hot yoga. Thanks, man." After the whole like calories thing, for the whole, did you see when he called a timeout trying to ice our kicker, and then he patted the ref on the back and he said, "Hey, man, I was saying they're clapping."
That was funny. That was funny. Lane Kiffin did that
mid game. It's those two. They couldn't be more polar opposites. But when they're together, it's like the right marriage almost. They're hilarious.
It kind of sounds like me and Jacob, doesn't it, Jim?
Well, unfortunately.
Hey, I do want to go back to high school football for a second. Of course, presented by Food City, all high school football presented by Food City here on the drive. Bradley was on bye week. Last week, we're going to talk with Coach Floyd coming up on Thursday, his normal spot. Excited to talk about the run the Bears are making. We know they're going to make the playoffs, looking like a completely different offense over there at Bradley. So going to have Coach Floyd on Thursday as well. And just getting to that exciting time of the year with high school football.
Where is that game at? I know they're playing Maryville, but where is that game at?
It is at Maryville. Yes, it's at Maryville. It's a rough atmosphere.
I'll be honest. That's one of the most. I've played there, like gotten off the bus there. We pulled up on the Cleveland bus, first round of playoffs, and their fans legitimately shook our bus back and forth and had Rebel flags there, and it's very intimidating because like, you get off the bus and like, we're probably sitting at 60 kids on our football team at the time. They march out there with like 105. And we come out and score on the first play of the game, super hyped up, didn't score again until the fourth quarter. And by that time, Maryville had rolled out 4 different quarterbacks.
They've done that to a lot of people over the years.
have.
But Bradley's schedule at Maryville this Friday, and then at Bearden, which, again, I'm going to say that Bradley's going to go up there and win that game pretty handedly. But you're still on the road nonetheless.
Yeah, 3 straight road games to finish the season, which is kind of nutty if you ask me. But hey, you know what? Sometimes that can bring a team together when it's just, like I said, it's that mentality, us against the world type mentality. But I don't like the fact that a football team playing their last 3 regular season games on the road, that's to me, somebody messed up making that schedule up there in Nashville.
Well, another big game is McMinn and Ray County, which we're going to have mixed TV. Greg Phillips is going to be one of the people on the call up there. Then you're going to be filling in for them over with Terry at Cleveland. But that game has huge implications, because if McMinn County wins that game, then I believe that Walker Valley has shored up the number 1 seed for the region. And so, we're going to be on the road, but, our phones will be on that as well, because that game has huge implications.
Yeah, that game, McMinn is a very talented team. They've had some things kind of not go their way here. I believe it was last week they lost to Red Bank, right?
Yeah.
And so that's a team that knows they're still alive for the playoffs. We're getting down to that playoff push, and it's starting to be some exciting high school football around the area. There's no doubt about it.
It is, and then it all translates. We've been bouncing around between high school and college, but you got all these 2-loss teams in college football. You could literally say, the playoffs begin now. You got to continue. You can't, if you suffer that 3rd loss, you might not get in. You might, but you might not. I wouldn't want to risk it. No 3-loss teams got in last year. Every team that got in had 2 or fewer losses. I think we're at the point where there might be a 3-loss team get in, but you don't want to risk that. It's like you said, Notre Dame, basically, their playoff began game 3.
Yes.
You have to win out. And, the big win over USC, and then this past weekend, Notre Dame, I'm telling you, and I'm not saying this because you're sitting here, they look really good.
You're saying it despite me sitting here.
No, they look really, really good. That's a team that I think nobody wants to mess with team right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. Obviously, you want to be playing your best football in December these days, but Notre Dame's playing really good football.
That was a must-win game, and they felt the pressure. And I think that's a good USC team. They're better than I thought they were, and I know you've been saying it all along. And nice to get that win under the belt, because not a lot of other opportunities for my Fighting Irish to get some credible wins.
Going back to high school football, we talked about 3 road games for Bradley. Ray County's in the same boat. They were at Loudon. They're at McMinn County this week, and then they'll have to travel to Walker Valley on Halloween night. So
that's just, to me, that's just who you don't see that. You never see it in the NFL. You never see that in the NFL. And in college football, you rarely see that. I just think whoever's making these schedules out, they need to think about that. Who would want their last 3 games be on the road? I understand you've got all these home games at the front end of your schedule, but you want to be as balanced as possible.
Well, do you want to hear what's wild? Ole Miss this weekend, the first time that they traveled on the road was to Georgia so far this season. Missouri was in the same camp.
Yeah, Missouri was another one.
Missouri going to Auburn at night was their first road game.
Can we talk about College Game Day this Saturday? Missouri at Vanderbilt in Nashville. Goodness gracious, that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are upset about ESPN going to another SEC school. But, at the end of the day, that's where their rights are. That's where ESPN covers the ACC and they cover the SEC. Big Noon has their Big Noon kickoff, and they're going to Indiana at UCLA next week. To me,
I don't have a problem with it.
Their ratings have been better than ever because they're great games.
This is the first time that Game Day has had a reason to go to Nashville to cover Vanderbilt. There should be no one upset over that.
Here's the thing. People get upset over the littlest and the craziest things these days. I could care less. First off, I'm not like you, Andy. I do, or Jacob. I don't watch Game Day that often. More often than not, I'm doing other stuff, and I'll flip on TV around 11:55, and I start watching at that point because I've got stuff going on. I've got stuff going on this Saturday.
Jim's acting like I'm a
no,
couch
it's just.
No,
I used to watch it religiously. I watched the first one this year because Corso.
Yeah.
I think I've watched bits and pieces of a couple other ones. I mean, there's been weeks where I haven't seen 1 second of Game Day.
I catch as much as I can, but this Saturday I'm going to be over at Cleveland State for Cougar Tracks and Treat. If you got kids, bring them over, drive through, get you some candy.
And I'm going to be a wholesale supply.
Yeah,
Speaking of Josh Rogers.
We're going to be out on the road, man.
That's right.
I'll be at home on the couch watching College Game Day. No, hey, I have given up the first hour of College Game Day. I'm no longer like I have to be sitting down at 9. I normally that first hour I normally get some stuff done, and then I try to really about 10:30 is when I feel like I have to start watching. Like that's when they start breaking down film and doing some of those bigger stuff. So, but yeah,
I mean, some of the stories they do, the behind the scenes stuff, I'd love those.
Yeah, it's almost like a short.
Yeah,
it's almost like a short 30 for 30 that you get to watch in like an hour.
Yes,
like they give you some pretty cool insight.
They do. Yep.
So I do want to say this. You had mentioned we're talking. We bounce around a little bit here in this first segment.
It's okay.
A lot of high school football though. Want to definitely get that out there because we're getting down to that time where we've been really excited about it. But I do want to say this. You had mentioned Lane Kiffin and the possibility of him going to Florida. If anyone has missed this for whatever the reason, Sun Belt Billy Napier, no longer the head coach at Florida. And I got to be honest, I kind of feel bad for the guy. The way it went down, he knew it. He knew it going into that game. He knew it was probably going to be the last game that he coached as a head coach at Florida.
Because of the bye week coming up this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he luckily for him, he was able to go in with his team. And I'm sure he was very transparent with them. Like, hey, this is possible. I want to go out there and give it a heck, guys. And they did. They got a win over it. And I want to say this. I think Mississippi State is a quality team. Do I think they're an elite team? No, not by any means. But I think they're a team that can show up and ruin just about anybody's day.
Well, they have. Do you hear something funny, though?
Yes, go ahead.
In the past 5 years, 3 different times, Mississippi State has got a coach fired, but after a loss.
Well, they did it to Jimbo Fisher at Florida State.
So 3 coaches have beaten Mississippi State, and then in the following week gotten
You
fired.
look so poor doing it.
Yeah.
You know what? I know you won, but my gosh, that's Mississippi State. You're out of here.
Also, a fun little stat. Sorry, I'll let you get it.
Go ahead.
Fun little stat. Billy Napier's first career win was sealed by a pick, and his last career win was sealed by an interception.
Yeah,
so.
that's pretty cool. But I do think he's going to land on his feet somewhere. He's not going to get an elite level job.
Oklahoma State would be a
I
good
think
landing spot for him.
potentially. See, I think they're feeling
Something
some
like that.
pressure out there. I could see maybe Virginia Tech, where they're at right now, might take a chance on a guy like that, and he could go to the ACC and be successful.
See, I think he fills in for a goalish I think he goes to somewhere that somebody is exiting. So like a Tulane, like if somebody
could see that.
somebody who hires Tulane's coach.
In Iowa State,
Well, like
potentially.
I said Oklahoma State, something like that.
Yeah.
But a decent school. It's not an elite school.
We're on the same page
but
on that,
yeah,
I believe.
So, yeah, that's where he's at. Butch Jones fell a bit further than that. He landed at Arkansas State in the Sun Belt. I think Napier will finally maybe get a little bit better job than that, but who knows, man? Who knows?
So, Lane Kiffin, I was thinking about this. I think it was so smart for him to pass on that Auburn job. At the end of the day, and I think Auburn's considered an elite level job, but no matter what, and I believe I'm taking this from Jim Gum, you're always the number 2 team in your own state.
That's right.
You are always the number 2 team in your own state.
It's kind of like Michigan State.
In the state of Florida, it's here recently. It's been a little bit of a revolving door of who the number 1 team in the state is. Florida State, Florida, Miami. They've all got track records of success, winning national titles. Tons of talent in the state of Florida. You go a little ways up north to Georgia. Tons of talent right there in South Georgia that you have the picking of. I think if Lane Kiffin is going to make a move, if he's going to leave Ole Miss, where I think he's really happy, I think it's going to be Florida.
I do too.
And that's the if is big there for me because here's the thing, and Florida fans might not like this, but you're just going to have to accept reality. Things are shaky there. Like your AD and the whole situation there looks like a Walmart wheel on the cart.
Kinda like
it's shaky.
Yeah.
Like it just is. Like,
Shout out Arkansas, big Walmart guys up there.
it's shaky, and you're looking at Ole Miss, who has a great AD, who Lane Kiffin is happy being there. 5 years ago, if you would have told me he had to go to Florida to win a national championship, I would have agreed with you. But now we're looking at a world where Indiana is the number 2 team in the country. Vanderbilt is the number 10 team in the country. Georgia Tech is the number 7 team in the country. Texas Tech, until they lost, was a player.
Top 10 team.
You've got all of these schools that are able to do it. And now Lane's not Lane's not really a recruiter. If we're just being honest about his personality, he's not the kind of guy that wants to go sit in your home. He's the type of guy that says, hey, I'm going to pay you $2 million. Why don't you come play for me? I'm going to develop a really good quarterback and a system around it. He's at a place that he can do that. His son is happy in Mississippi. He's a pretty high recruit at his age. Like, I don't see the move happening. I think Ole Miss will throw comparable money. Florida better throw the biggest bag out there, because I'm telling you, I think he's happy. I think his family's happy, and he's at a place that he can win a national championship because everybody else around the country is showing they can be competitive.
If I'm Ole Miss, I do what Indiana just did to Cignetti. I get this guy's about an 8-year contract, and the buyout for him to leave is going to be so astronomical that it'll be ridiculous for him to do that. Now, whether he wants to sign something like that remains to be seen. But if I'm Ole Miss, I'm doing that pronto.
Before we go to break, want to give a shout-out to Josh Gamble, the winner of our Vols 25 giveaway presented by USS. Of course, every Tuesday we give away a pair of Vols road tickets when they're on the road that week. Every single Tuesday we're doing it. Plus, Cleveland Insurance throws in $100 travel expense. Man, I tell you what, our guy over there getting involved in everything. He says, you know what, we're going to give away 2 tickets, USS. Well, Cleveland Insurance, Stephen Shelton throwing out a little money for the fans to go enjoy the game as well. Plus, our friends at Hardees give away 2 free combos along with 2 Tennessee T-shirts. And again, this week, headed to Lexington, Kentucky for the Tennessee-Kentucky game is Josh Gamble. Congratulations. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk Major League Baseball and a little more college football.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
This is Alfonso Revizo, General Manager over at Crown in Cleveland, your local Jeep and Ram dealership.
The Fall Fun Festival, sponsored by Mount Olive Ministries, is back at the Tri-State Exhibition Center on Wednesday, October 29th. Join us from 6 to 8:30 p.m. for an evening full of family fun. This year, you can enjoy lots of carnival rides, jump and play in inflatables, stop by the petting zoo, ride the train, and compete in carnival games. Grab dinner and dessert from your favorite food trucks, then top it off with free candy for the kids. And admission is free. Mark your calendars and bring the whole family to the Fall Fun Festival, sponsored by Mount Olive Ministries at the Tri-State Exhibition Center, 6 to 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, October 29th.
Check your wallet. Empty? Check your bills. Overdue? Check your stress level. Maxed? Now, check into cash. Check into Cash is your one-stop money shop, and we've got everything you need. Payday loans and flex lines of credit options? Check. Quick in-store services like money orders and wire transfers? Check. Turn your unused gift cards into cash? Oh yeah, check. And yes, we cash checks. All kinds. Fast. Check that off your list. Visit checkintocash.com or check into a store to get started. The process is simple, quick, and designed to get you the help you need fast. If you've been approved, you can leave with cash in hand. We have locations in the Chattanooga area, including Cleveland and Athens. Check in, cash out, and get on with life. Check into Cash. We fund today to make a better tomorrow. Subject to state regulations, eligibility, credit check, underwriting, and approval. Rates, restrictions, and fees apply. Visit the store for details.
Hey Cleveland, are you suffering from fatigue, low sex drive, or just not feeling like yourself? Optimize You is the answer that you have been looking for. Our team is here to listen and help you become the best version of yourself again. So find us online at OptimizeYouCenters.com. That's OptimizeYouCenters.com.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 to $27 per hour. What happened? Okay. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. It freaked me out when I had the little, so it's like a record skip.
Yeah, it skipped a little bit.
Y'all don't know what that means.
Hey,
I do.
Record skips.
I made a joke that I was going to need to, apply to Duracell on Friday. Dr. Lindbergh said he wanted to have a meeting. I just didn't go to school on Monday, so I still have a job and all
Smart man.
all
Good
is
call.
well. And,
Good call.
we're all good.
It's a good place to work, though. I can tell you that much.
Let's talk a little Major League Baseball, fellas. Presented by Mayfield Dairy. Shout out to Mayfield for covering all things Atlanta Braves here on The Drive and all things Major League Baseball. The World Series is set. The Los Angeles Dodgers are taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Game 1 Friday night, 8 p.m. Dodgers at Toronto. And from a fan standpoint, from a diehard Braves fan standpoint, as I know many of our listeners are, I'm pretty much an anyone but the Dodgers kind of guy. Like last year, Dodgers-Yankees, I just cringed the whole time and didn't want to cheer for anybody. But this is kind of – there's some individuals that I really like on that Toronto team. Vladdy Jr. is such a likable guy.
Yeah, he is.
Don Mattingly is the bench coach for Toronto, and I think he kind of got done wrong as a manager in New York, and then his time in Miami, he just played with a bunch of minor league players and some pieced together big names. So I'm excited for him. But for me, it's kind of like, okay, who do you want to win? The Dodgers, which are also from California, or a team from Canada, and I'm like, ugh.
I know, literally, that's what I'm sitting here thinking. I hate the Dodgers so much that I'm willing to cheer for a Canadian team.
I'm on board.
It feels icky. It genuinely does. It feels icky because I'm sitting here. I told myself I'll never cheer for a Canadian team. And then now the Dodgers are in the World Series. So
now take your Dodger hater hats off and your glasses off. Have you any of y'all ever seen a better game that players ever had than Ohtani on Friday night? 3 homers, 6 scoreless innings, 10 strikeouts. That's a game that'll never be matched.
We were sitting in the broadcast booth on Friday night, and I looked at my phone and I just turned it to Andy and I said, "This guy is not real.
He's unbelievable."
So I want to get this out there. I'm glad you hit on this, Jim. Ohtani, of course, in that game to sweep a Milwaukee Brewer team that's loaded with pitching. They swept them.
Yes.
In that game, Game 4 Friday night, Dodgers won 5-1, but Ohtani went 3 for 3, 3 home runs, and 1 walk. Also, there was something else on here that I accidentally just deleted. Hopefully it wasn't important. But also, he was the winning pitcher in the game, went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts in a game that he hit 3 home runs in. So here's a little tidbit that I saw online as I was kind of researching some of the stuff. Only 12 hitters have ever hit 3 home runs in a postseason game. Only 12 guys have done that. Shohei Ohtani's one of them. Only 26 pitchers have ever recorded 10-plus strikeouts, 2 or less hits, and no runs in a postseason start. Ohtani did both of those in the same game.
It is the greatest performance. Maybe Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points in one basketball game might be, but that was a regular season game. This was postseason.
Yeah. Meaningful baseball.
I believe this is the greatest performance in the history of team sports in one game. I cannot imagine anything better or greater to do what he's – because nobody – here's the thing about him. He's the only guy that hits and pitches. He's the only guy that does this. And he was
Now wasn't it Hunter Green who was trying to originally? Coming up.
No. Well, Hunter Green. You talk about
For the Reds.
He has never done it in the major leagues.
Yeah,
he might have done it
when he was drafted. That was a hope that he wanted to do.
There's been some great hitting pitchers in our lifetime. I should say great, good,
solid.
Yeah. But
Mad Bum. San Francisco.
This guy is the best hitter on his team. He might be one of the top 2 or 3 pitchers on his team. He might be the best.
And that's not a slight on him.
No.
The rotation on that team is ridiculous.
I mean, Snell.
Glass now. Like it's
so
sickening.
loaded. But that performance, I don't know if we'll ever see a better performance in a team sport in our life.
Like, you got to think about it. That would be like Patrick Mahomes going out and throwing 3-4 touchdowns in a game, then going to play safety, having 10
Travis Hunter.
10 tackles,
except at quarterback.
Yeah,
right.
Like, it would be something. It would have to be something like that, where a guy goes out and like records a bunch of tackles, a couple picks, but then also accounts for like 3 touchdowns on the offensive side of the ball. It's just not going to happen in the NFL.
And listen, with that, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. I'm not an investigator, but you can't blame Major League Baseball for letting his interpreter take the fall for the gambling stuff. You can't.
No, I mean, honestly.
You want to ruin that guy that just did that?
Yeah.
They knew what they had.
Yeah, it genuine.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but
I'll call you, because I honestly don't think that they would put one person ahead of the integrity of the game. I don't.
I disagree.
It's hard for me. Where does an interpret? Well, this is a side tangent.
Because
but where does an interpreter?
if it ever came out that they did that, Andy, there'd be the whole sport would be
it's easy.
joke.
It's easy to defend. We acted on the information that was provided to us. How do we know what was provided? I get paper trails. I get emails, and I'm just saying. There's been no bigger of a black eye on Major League Baseball than the Pete Rose stuff. They didn't want to go there again. And a lot of people, me included, a lot of people love Pete Rose. But the way that all went down, the fact he didn't get into the Hall of Fame and he's passed away, that has been nothing, that whole situation, nothing but a black eye on Major League Baseball. And they said, why would we do that to ourselves again?
Yeah. Regardless, he is going to go down as probably the greatest baseball player until the next one. I mean, and I just don't know. These guys are like unicorns. Like when have we seen a guy that can do that? That can go out and hit 3 home runs in a game, then be entered in as the pitcher, then go 6 innings with 10 Ks with only allowing 2 hits. That's unreal.
When he first came over here from the Japanese leagues, I was a doubting Thomas. I said, yeah, he could do all that stuff in Japan, but wait till he gets to the major leagues and that ain't happening. He has proven me to be a big time wrong. He was awesome with the Angels. Unfortunately, he was buried because the Angels were never winning, so we saw highlights of him, but we never really got to see what he could do in the postseason. Now he is in the postseason. He's killing it. I'm awed by this guy.
Does it make you wonder like how bad the Angels organization really is? If you've got arguably the 2 faces of MLB in the past 20 years between Mike Trout and him on the same team, and you can't make a playoff.
Well, did you see the big news? Kurt Suzuki, new manager, former Braves catcher, spent some time after his stint with the Braves as the catcher out there for the Angels, but new manager for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Do they still call him that?
I still want to call them the California
yeah.
Angels, man. But I guess they're the Los Angeles Angels. I'm not going to throw of Anaheim in there anymore. But yeah, it's unbelievable what he. How many years was he there with the Angels? So, like 5 years.
I was thinking it was
so that's
4 or 5
4 or 5 years. Could you imagine had he been with the Dodgers all that time? If I'm not mistaken, and I may be wrong here, I may be getting him confused. So it seemed like when he was thinking about coming over to the States, he seriously considered the Toronto Blue Jays too.
He did.
He considered. So he's going against a team that he really considered. And that's been several years now. But he's going against a team that he looked at hard, and ends up with the Angels in Los Angeles. And of course now he's taking it to another level with the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's insane what he's doing. Let's go over to the other side of things, because Game 7 of the ALCS was last night. Toronto won at home in front of a sold-out crowd at the Rogers Center, and they advanced to their first World Series since 1993. And Carlos Correa played hero in that game for the Blue Jays. He hit the go-ahead 3-run home run in the 7th inning to give Toronto the 4-3 lead that they did not relinquish. And man, what an exciting moment that was. You could just tell. The Mariners still had some guys. They're at the bottom part of their order going into that 8th and 9th inning, and they were able to get back around to Julio Rodriguez, who just took and it's in that situation it's hard, but he took a hack just trying to keep things alive for that called strike 3. And
you know who was on deck, don't you?
Yeah, the big dumper was on deck, and you got to feel like you felt the same way knowing he was on deck that you did knowing once so Carlos Correa, I don't know if you saw it, got hit in the knee earlier in the series, was kind of banged up, and kind of they kind of slid him into that spot, and he comes out there and hits a go-ahead home run. Really huge for those fans in Toronto, but I felt for Mariners fans kind of watching that. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that's never been to a World Series, and they're that close. They had the lead in that game the whole time, and just that close. And I heard
Springer hit that homer, man.
Yeah, Correa.
Oh, Correa.
George Springer. Did I say Correa? Yeah,
Springer.
George Springer. George Springer. My bad.
Yeah.
Going back to the Houston days, confusing those two guys. But yeah, it was George Springer who hit the home run, and they just absolutely, that place just went crazy. So definitely excited for the Toronto fans, and so the World Series set once again. Dodgers, Blue Jays. Thanks for correcting me on that. I don't know why I had Correa in my head the whole time.
Well, I'm hoping that we hear.
They were part of I know they were part of that band, the Trash Can Bangers. That's why.
I'm hoping that we hear old Vladdy get to go, Dodgers lose.
Yeah, might get to see that.
I'm hoping. But hey,
so are you rooting for Toronto? I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I'm rooting for the Dodgers because
you're never going to catch me.
I can't do it.
It's just not going to happen.
Hey, Jim, how about you take us inside the SEC real quick before we take our next break?
I will do that, man. Hey, did a little research here today. Salaries. And listen, it's very lucrative to be a head coach in college football, even if you're the lowest paid coach. I added this up. You got 16 teams in the Southeastern Conference. The highest paid is Kirby Smart, $13,282,580 per season with Georgia. Clark Lee, the lowest paid coach, $3,711,137.
Yeah.
Total, if you total up all 16 coaches, $132,290,567. Divide that by 16. The average salary of a head coach in the Southeastern Conference, $8,268,000, $160. Can you believe the money? And we talk about these NIL deals and all that stuff. The coaches are raking in the money, guys. And with Penn State and Florida open, the top-notch guys, they're all going to get raises because
please don't leave.
Some of these schools are going to be sniffing around there. I'll promise you, someone starts calling Ryan Day's agent. Guess what he could do? He's going to get in touch with the athletic director at
and they're going to say, please don't leave. Here's more money.
Ryan Day's considering the Florida job. What it's going to take to keep him here, and that's what's happening. So there again, very lucrative to be a head coach in the Southeastern Conference in football.
Well, hey, you may need to find somebody to click these buttons over here because I applied for the Florida job yesterday. With that, we're going to take a break.
Oh, slim money.
We will have Coach Drew Akins on the drive next.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway. Is your old car really scary? Are you frightened about how much you owe? Don't be afraid. We'll take any trade. Let your scary old car rust in peace. Kia Cleveland will pay you up to $7,000 over Kelley Blue Book market value for your current vehicle, running or not. That's right, up to $7,000 for any trade in any condition. And we'll buy your car for cash, even if you don't buy a car from us. Are you haunted by bad credit? Don't sweat it. Our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Don't be frightened by how much you owe on your old car. at Kia of Cleveland. We can get you out. Come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Negative trade equity financed in new loan, subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
ESPN Cleveland 1013 is powered by Duracell.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Need a new shop, garage, or other unique space? Explore post-frame building kits from Best Buy Metals. Best Buy Metals kits utilize steel trusses for the ultimate in strength and durability. When you need it to last, call Best Buy Metals. Stop by or visit bestbuymetalroof.com for your custom structure.
The absolute best deals are located at Deal Days. Everything in the store is $7 on Saturday and Sunday, $5 on Monday, $3 on Tuesday, and $1 on Wednesday. Located next to Planet Fitness on APD 40. Other locations are in Chatsworth, Calhoun, and Cartersville. That's Deal Days.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Power your day with nutritious Mayfield Dairy Milk. Learn more info at mayfielddairy.com. And Jacob's got a milk mustache right now as we speak. I didn't even know we had milk in the studio, Mason. What in the world?
Oh, my gosh.
You remember those posters, Got Milk? And
Yep.
They used to have like Albert Pujols on there with the milk mustache or whoever. Those were cool. Jacob's bringing it back, man.
You're wild.
Hey, now with us, Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins, who's got the Mustangs rolling so far this year. Coach, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Glad to have you on here with us. As always, I feel like I just saw you because I did. Filmed your coach show, which everyone will be able to check out on the WCLE Facebook. And that's the second time I've done that, to do WCLE YouTube page as well as the Walker Valley YouTube page. And, Coach, I was able to get Jacob in the studio today, so I know you've missed talking to him. Yeah,
he showed up for something.
He might get ready. Be getting ready to walk out, though.
I knew he'd show up today because I knew he'd want to talk his trash.
No, hey, that was such a fun game.
No, he mentioned it. He mentioned it.
No, what the listeners don't know is as soon as Coach Akins answered the phone, the first thing I hit him with was a go. And I said, I'm just kidding, man.
And then he barked at me. Grown man.
Like that commercial, don't bark at your boss,
yeah,
right?
Dude, one of my favorite commercials, man. It's one of the best commercials on right now.
It is.
Woo, woo.
So, Coach, about the football game. So, give us an overall synopsis of what happened on Friday night.
Well, our guys played really well. I mean, first and foremost, we we talk a lot in the leading up to that game. I talked to Andy about it today. We talked about how culture really shows in games like that. I think culture shows two different times. It shows when you're in an adverse situation. For example, you get into a situation where you're dealing with, things not going your way. Whether you stay together or whether you quit, it's going to show up. And then I think it shows up when you're the better team, when you're the dominant team, and you're going to win, 99 of 100 times. But how do you win the game? How do you go out and compete in that kind of game. And I think our guys took that to heart. I think they understood, like, you got to go out and you got to play to a standard. And I've talked about that on this radio show as well. Just play to a standard all the time. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. And our guys did a great job of that.
Well, Coach, you had a pretty historic night, breaking a lot of different records on offense and one on defense with Michael Wood. And I saw he got the Player of the Week, which was really neat. But me and Andy were being greedy on Friday night. You know, you throw that screen pass and it gets called back, and we're like, man, that's yardage coming off the board. Then you turn around and you break a school record for the longest touchdown pass recorded to Roman Yulo. Just kind of talk about your offense and, you know, some of those major milestones that were stepped over this last Friday night.
Yeah, you know, it's we've talked a lot about that, and just in our 7 years here, how we want to do things that have never been done here before. And you know, in a 25-year history, there are several things that have never been done here. You know, Roman going for the amount of yardage, but you know, receiving yards is one that becomes really hard to break. You know, we've had some great receivers come through with Zeke Westfield and Nunley and Cooper Melton, and, you know, even in our time, Brody Swafford and Kay Charda and Daniel Denton. There's just guy after guy after guy that have been so successful at receiver here. Roman, though, is one of the best, and for him to be able to break that record, going for 322 yards,
in a half of
really
football.
And the play you're talking about is the one that kind of put him over, you know, breaking the record of longest play. He broke the record or tied the record for touchdowns in the game, receiving touchdowns in the game.
With 4.
And then broke a record for yards. That all happened on that one play. And the play wasn't even designed to go to him. It was just Chase made a great play of adjusting to what the defense gave him. So, yeah, it's a really cool night, being able to do those things. And so happy for Michael Wood. You know, Michael set out to do this. It's been on his mind all year. So for him to get to that milestone, I think it was really exciting for him. It speaks a lot to how much he's grown over the last few years and just how successful he's been in our program.
Coach, a lot of coaches will say, I'm not aware of the records or what's been stuff like that during the game. Are you made aware of, hey, this guy needs this to break a record? Are you made aware of that during a game?
I'm not super aware of, like, yardage-wise. I'm aware of records that we have in our program. I'm aware of kind of what we need to accomplish, but, like, in-game records, I don't know as much, just because, you know, it's so hard to translate that information down to me throughout the game. But like overall records, things that we've never done in the program, those are things that I'm very aware of, and always trying to make sure that our kids know it, and that we're trying to go get it.
Coach, of course, second half, Case and Cunningham, your running back, able to score a very quiet 2 touchdowns as he continues to contribute to that offense. But I want to talk about your kicker, Chris Malik, who 9 for 9 extra points. And you had mentioned today, statistically, one of the best kickers in the state.
Yeah, really proud of Malik. You know, he's had such a great season, you know, doing so many things for us that have, you know, we have a lot of faith in him, a lot of trust in him. We put his we put all his stats into Max Prep this week and realized that on Max Prep, he is the leading kicker in the state when it comes to points. So he's 41 of 41 on extra points, 5 of 6 on field goals, puts him at 56 points on the season. And per Max Preps, that is the highest total in the state. So really proud of him. He's been so consistent. And obviously we have a lot of faith in him and trust that he knows what he's, you know, going out there and staying calm. He's done just a great job of that throughout the season.
Well, one comment I had Friday night was after that East Ham kick, it almost just seems like he's kicking with so much confidence, both on the extra points, but if you need him to go out there and kick a field goal, he just seems like he's exuding confidence out there. So that's obviously a nice weapon to have, especially heading into potentially some postseason play here soon. I know we're locked up, but hopefully number 1 seed locked up postseason play.
Yeah, that's like I said, we got a lot of confidence. You're right. I mean, I think after that kick, it's kind of given him a lot of faith in himself and a lot of confidence, and obviously our kids have that as well. Being able to watch him make that kick and the pressure that was on that kick for him to step up and go make that, it's given us the whole program a lot of confidence in what he's able to do.
Coach, obviously out-of-region game this week against Sequatchie County on the road, a 6-2 Sequatchie County team out of Region 4 3A. Let our listeners know a little bit about what you guys are going into.
Yeah, very good football team. Watching them, they play the game the right way. They play with a lot of energy. They play with a ton of effort. Defensively, they fly to the football. They have hats. So many hats getting to the football defensively. On offense, they're led by their quarterback. I think their quarterback's a really good player. He reminds me a lot of the East Hamilton kid. Just his ability to extend plays and run around, find receivers downfield. His ability, they do, I guess, a difference in them is they do a little more quarterback run, like design quarterback run. So plush run always becomes difficult to defend because you have to account for an extra hat. Defending plush run is something that we're having to work. We're having to focus on throughout our practice, and he's a really good player. But really, their team is outstanding. They're a semifinal team from last year. Got to the semifinals and got beat by Alcoa. But a very good football team, and we're trying to treat it like a game prep for a playoff travel trip. So our guys have really bought into that mentality and understand that this could be kind of a preparatory game for us when it comes to playoffs.
Coach, what's the number that Ole Miss has to put on paper to keep Lane Kiffin a Rebel?
Yeah, I don't think this is a money decision. I think it comes down. I think this game this weekend is very important. I think it is does Lane believe that he can win a championship at Ole Miss? And if he believes that he can win a championship at Ole Miss can give him everything he wants. They can give him whatever he wants when it comes to his pay. They can give him whatever he wants to NIL. His offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr., is already the highest paid offensive coordinator. His defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, is already the highest paid defensive coordinator. I don't think this is a money thing. I think it is does he believe that he can win a championship at Ole Miss? And if he does, I think he stays. And if he doesn't, then I think he'll move on. That's why I think this weekend's so important. If they go to Oklahoma and beat Oklahoma, they're looking at 11-1, and you're in the playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, then you can win the championship.
Yeah, right there. Go ahead, Coach.
If they lose to Oklahoma, then they're looking at 10-2, but it's a really ugly 10-2. It's not a pretty. You don't have a pretty win on the schedule, so it becomes really difficult to say, hey, we can go win it all.
Yeah, Ole Miss right there in the mix, Coach. Hey, appreciate you calling in and chatting with us today.
Always, man. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you again on Friday.
We'll be there. Of course, you'll be able to catch the Walker Valley game over on Cleveland's Oldies 99.1 with Jacob and myself on the call. Excited to travel over getting a little distance this week. Haven't really had to venture out too far to call those Walker Valley games, and about an hour and 20-minute drive ahead of us to go into Central Time Zone. But listen, Jim, you don't think Ole Miss can do it? They can't win a title there.
I have said that, and I'm not going to unsay it because I've already said it. But, there are certain schools that I just have this mentality of like they've peaked, and I thought that Ole Miss peaked last year. Now they're having an outstanding season, but I still, like I said, I have my doubts. I mean, that's a tough place to go to win at Oklahoma, and then you get that one game out there at home against the Florida Gators, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Trap game.
Yeah, because you got an interim coach, and Florida's still got the athletes. We've seen them. Listen, ask Texas. They beat the brakes off of Texas. So if Oklahoma beats Ole Miss, then the pressure is on to sweep the rest of your season, and I don't know if they can do it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. SEC, just about anybody can beat anyone on any given weekend. So going to enjoy this Saturday. A little bit of a limited slate in the SEC. A lot of teams on bye this week. Of course, Tennessee traveling to Kentucky. That's one that we're going to pay attention to. You'll be able to catch that game on Mix 104.1. And Jacob's Bulldogs on bye week again. Seems like you guys were just on a bye week.
Yeah, it was before the Alabama game.
Yeah, it was.
So
That's right.
Week 4, I guess.
Yeah, but the big one in the SEC, Missouri at Vanderbilt. College Game Day is going to be there. And we're going to talk a lot more college football tomorrow. Show's snuck up to its ending on us really quick here, as it always does. So for Jacob, for Jim, I'm Andy. Have a great day, everybody.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Starting to build pretty good right now. 24 through Moccasin Bend, continuing out into Marion County. Watch for radar out there, headed towards the Jasper area, South Pittsburgh area as well. On I-24, stop and go right now. 153 at Hamill Road. Pretty crowded over here now at Shallowford, right at the interstate. Hey, Rick's Lock and Key is Chattanooga's leading locksmith. If you get locked out, call Rick's Lock and Key at 892-1700. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Skies clearing out tonight and chilly air settling in. We're going to drop into the upper 30s and the low 40s, possibly some patchy frost in some of the higher elevations. Heading through the day Wednesday, sunshine and 70 degrees. We'll have another cool start to the day on Thursday, 42 in the morning, 73 and sunny in the afternoon. Friday, pretty much the same, 44 in the morning, 71 on Friday afternoon with partly cloudy skies. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Your current Milligan Vane temperature is 69 degrees. MilliganVane.com.
Come to Don Ledford GMC in Cleveland during October's fall trade-up event and receive up to 20% in savings on our GMC trucks and SUVs. Listen to this fantastic deal. You get 20% in savings on stock number 250586, a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, Elevation Series, 4-wheel drive that has an MSRP of $58,825 for only $46,997. Once again, that is 20% off, a savings of $11,828. Now that's a great deal on a great truck. And hey, we have special finance and leasing options available, as well as first payments not due till 2026. So come in today and save big at Don Ledford GMC. We're at 4595 North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or go to donledford.com for details and a trade assistance coupon. Don Ledford GMC, where we say yes. GMC, we are professional grade. Stock number 250586. Price includes all qualifying rebates and is plus tax, tag, and title, and dealer fee of $649. Plus take delivery by October 31st, 2025.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit, split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. Northley Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all.
For the past quarter century, Mix 104.1 has been your home for UT Vols football. That's something to celebrate. Vol 25 is here. ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and USS are giving you a chance to win tickets to all of the Tennessee road games this season. Each Monday before a road game, you can register to win tickets to that Saturday's Vols game. Vol 25 is brought to you by USS. Visit USSTN.com/Chattanooga. For more information, check out our ESPN Cleveland 101.3 socials on Facebook and Instagram. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357. From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
You're listening to the Titans Radio Network on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The following presentation of the Titans Radio Network is pre-recorded and aired on delay.
And when he goes down, the whole team feels that void. And it's not that there aren't other leaders who are able to step up. Please don't think I'm saying that, because that's not at all true. But what I am saying is that when a big leader goes down, you feel that void. When Jeffrey Simmons was in the tent and he kind of went in and then came out and tried a couple things and then went back in, and the team doctors were working on him a little bit more, and then he came back out, was trying different things. There were probably 3 different players who went in to see if he was okay, see what was going on, come talk to him. You don't see that all the time.
Right.
A lot of guys go in there and it's just them dealing with whatever it is. That, to me, tells you a lot about what Jeffrey Simmons means to this team. And so the fact that his players were looking, not his players, but his teammates were looking for him. Other players were looking for him. And then after the half, he came back out in street clothes, but was still on the sidelines, was still interacting with people, was talking to guys, was still a part of it. But, I mean, so frustrating for him. A game that he wanted to play in. He wanted to have a part in that. It meant something to him. And to just not be able to be on the field contributing in the way that he wants to, I know is frustrating for him, and I think it was a little deflating for the team as a whole.
Yeah, it's a big bummer not to have 98 out there on the field. And get better, Big Jeff. We need you out there, certainly pulling for him. He has had an incredible start to the season. Coming up, Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy joins us. But first, the pinnacle moment of the game. That was a fun one to relive, Amy. One of the most exciting moments that we've had at Nissan Stadium so far this season. Jim Dike has just been amazing. I mean, in every way. I mean, 4th-round draft pick. He went from Wisconsin to the Florida Gators last year. He goes from the Florida Gators to the 4th round. And, you're wondering, what are you going to get from a 4th-round pick? You're going to get the best return specialist so far in the National Football League. He's been just extraordinary in special teams, and now he's turning into a first-team wide receiver for the Titans.
Yep, he's the guy who is the quintessential, like, maybe we'll get a good special teams player. That would fill a hole. That would be a great need. That would be awesome if our 4th-round draft pick turns out to be a contributor on special teams. Great. Okay, he's phenomenal on special teams. What an amazing returner he is. Okay, let's give him some more responsibility. Okay, let's see what else he can do. He is the perfect example of a guy who has just kept earning it and answering when his number is called every single time. And so now to see him get more reps as a part of the offense, get more experience, get some targets, get a touchdown, and every time he just keeps showing up. I mean, that's a success when it comes to drafting a guy. Yeah. And so the fact that he is a rookie and that he is forming the kind of chemistry that he has with Cam Ward is great. Cam was like, yeah, guy's just kind of always there. When I need him to be there, he's there. And that's exactly what you want in a receiver. Same thing with Alec Manor. He is just there.
Yeah.
And he's reliable and he's consistent and he's a rookie. So there is so much upside. And that just brings me so much joy because for years, Titans fans have been waiting for dynamic, consistent wide receivers. And it looks like we have 2. And they're rookies.
Yes.
Oh, what a dream.
And you have Gunnar Helm as a rookie, too, as a tight end. So you got 3 options as rookies that are catching the ball from rookie Cam Ward. So the future is bright, certainly, for the Titans. Speaking of rookies, it was great to see Kevin Winston play some defense for the first time in the National Football League, 3rd-round draft pick, who injured his knee at Penn State last year. And it has really worked hard to get back onto the field. It was great to see him. He's played some special teams the last couple of weeks, but he was out there on defense. Great to see big number 93, Tavondre Sweat.
Yeah.
T-Sweat back out on the field. And with a sack in the game. He was in the backfield.
Love to see it. The big man's back.
Against the Patriots, sacking Drake May. So that was great. And Joey Sly, after a calf injury that he sustained before he made the game-winning kick in Arizona, he was back kicking 50-yarders into that wind.
Doing it.
So, look, I know that Titans fans want a better result on Sunday. We all do. But I really appreciate the culture and the fight of this football team, and I do believe there are going to be great moments in 2025 because of it.
I agree. I totally agree. A person who I would like to mention who didn't get mentioned was Cedric Gray, because his level of frustration by it was some play. I mean, I don't even remember when it was, but the defense was coming off the field. It was late in the game. Defense is coming off the field, and he was so frustrated. There was a moment that it was all the emotions he was feeling just came out. And I thought, this guy cares. Like, this guy's passionate about this. This guy wants to make an impact. Like, those are things you don't usually see that from rookie players, especially at this point in the season. It's still fresh enough. It's still new enough. You're still kind of trying to figure things out. This guy's ready to rock and roll. And, I mean, he's what, a second-year player? That's great.
As a Tar Heel dad,
yeah,
I am real proud of Cedric Gray, second-year player out of the University of North Carolina. And watching him in college, Amy, this is the way he cared and the way he played and the effort he played with. 50 tackles in the last 4 games. And he said something after the game that I really appreciated. He said, it's not our turn right now. He said, but we're going to fight like crazy out there. We're going to go through this stuff right now, and it's going to make it even sweeter when it is our turn.
He's right. I
love that.
Yeah, he's right. He's got the right perspective. He's got the right understanding of like what this is and what it takes. Playing in the National Football League is really hard. Yeah. Like, that's the reality. Winning games is really hard. And for him to have that perspective and understanding that this is really hard, we have to keep going. We have to keep pushing through the hard. But then it gets really good. That's the right place. That's where you want guys to be right now.
Yes, it is. And we appreciate Pinnacle Bank for our Pinnacle moment of the game, the official bank of your Tennessee Titans. You can sign up for Titans banking exclusively at Pinnacle. Visit titansbanking.com. Vanderbilt.com, member FDIC. Cam rolls right now, sets his feet, throws back to the left, downfield, it's caught, that's a Titans touchdown, Jim Dinke, 38 yards. Amy Wells, by the way, will be the only person in this city not cheering for the Vanderbilt Commodores during college game day in their game.
Straight up. Sorry, Vandy.
On Saturday, as her Missouri Tigers are coming to break everybody's hearts.
It's a big game. It's a big
Saturday.
game, and I am none % sorry. It's been really fun to watch Vanderbilt. It's been really fun to cheer for them this season, and you can't beat what they've been able to pull off this at the end of last season and all through this season. It's been incredible to watch, but not this week. Any other week, I'm like, yeah, Vandy's doing great. What an awesome story. This has been so much fun. Wow, what great football. This week, it is on.
Clark Lee is a big Titans fan, but Amy will be pulling against him this weekend.
This week.
Up next, interim head coach Mike McCoy joins us on Monday Night Titans here on Titans Radio.
The Titans style of smash mouth football is built in hard-fought practice. Drill after drill after drill. The same goes for Nissan's lineup of vehicles. Thousands of hours of testing. Mile after mile after mile. That's why Nissan is #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year.
In the heart of every community, caring comes naturally. At Farm Bureau Health Plans, we're not just a health plan provider. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your partners in health. With us, you are more than just a member. You are a valued part of our Farm Bureau family. Together, we care. Together, we grow. Together, we thrive. Farm Bureau Health Plans, where your health is our commitment. Plan on us. Visit us at fbhp.com/together. That's fbhp.com/together.
Here's a club you want to get into, Club Citgo. It's the super easy app that opens the door to great fuel savings and more. Sign up and instantly save 23 cents per gallon on your first fill-up, plus everyday savings that really add up. You can also enter our sweepstakes with multiple winners and giveaways, like free gas for a year. And Club Citgo makes paying easy with a convenient mobile pay feature. So welcome to the club where all the action is. Download Club Citgo today. Savings good up to 30 gallons, only at participating locations. Data rates may apply.
What's the mark of a great team? When talent, experience, and preparation all come together to make it look easy. It's true in football. It's true in banking. Titans Checking from Pinnacle with convenient online banking and world-class service. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Titans checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit of at least $300 by January 30th. And you could get a $200 Titans Team Store gift card. Details at titansbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Breaking down the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Monday Night Titans on Titans Radio. Presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Returns in 2 minutes. This is Titans Radio.
Check out the spooky savings this October at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. They have terrifyingly low rates, like 0% APR on the 2025 Rogue, or just 0.9% on 2025 Frontiers. Want to trade in your old car? Nissan is giving up to $5,000 over book value when you trade, and they'll buy your car even if you don't buy theirs. Shop in person on Exit 20 off of I-75 or visit cleveland-nissan.com. Payments are per month for 75 months. Does not include tax, tag, title, or dealer doc fee. Must finance through the dealer subject to credit approval and pick from new dealer stock.
Today's Game Break brought to you by Alon Planning Partners. Now's the time to create a winning game plan for your financial future. Call us today at 423-315-1441.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Bradley Concrete and Lamcon Ready Mix is a family-owned business and has been serving Cleveland for 40 years. They work with customers large and small. Call Bradley Concrete at 423-479-4541 or visit lamcon.us to find out more.
This is Dr. Brian Beard with the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. Our definition of family dentistry might be a little different than what you're used to. My dad is my mentor and our senior dentist. My sister Darlia is a hygienist. My mom Judy does our books. My brother-in-law Blaine is our dental sales rep, and my daughter Blakely is my hygienist. Blakely, am I forgetting anyone?
Well, my mom Jana is a retired hygienist, and my cousin Baylor is in Memphis at dental school and will join us in 2023.
Wow, that's amazing. We would love to have your family as part of our family. Give us a call at the Center for Cosmetic Dentistry, 476-6541.
You'll save a heap of money with a smarter mortgage from TVFCU. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to The Brian Callahan Show on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. The Big Orange Hotline is coming up. The ESPN Cleveland 101.3 lineup is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group, wholesalesupply.us.
Whirlpool Cleveland is currently hiring for entry-level production roles. Starting pay $18.25 per hour, jumps to $19.35 per hour after 90 days. Benefits start on day one, including medical, dental, vision, 401k, life insurance, and more. 120 total hours of paid time off. 10 hours the first 3 months. Remaining balance after 90 days. Apply at jobs.whirlpool.com. Jobs.whirlpool.com.
Play for 4 quarters, and that's the big challenge now. As you saw how we came out, we started fast, did some great things as a football team, played complementary football in all 3 phases, and we got to continue to do that and play more consistently in the second half.
I think a lot of us that aren't on the field, that aren't coaching or playing, we see an injury and we think, gosh, what kind of impact that has. Mm-hmm. You can't really ever go there, can you? You just have to coach the next play with the next player.
It's going to be the next play, next man up mentality. And it might be, when you say next man up, it might be by committee. There might be certain guys you got to rotate more. You lose certain players, it's tough to replace them, but someone's got to step up and do their job. We all have jobs to do, so we got to do as coaches, whether you adjust what you're play calling, scheme you're running, whatever it is, you got to adjust to what the players do best.
And it certainly seems like the attitude of the team is right. It's the kind of attitude you'd want to compete with.
No doubt. They've worked extremely hard. The last week's preparation was outstanding. The attitude, the approach, you saw the way we were game day. We just got to clean up, some things. We let that game get away with us the end of the half, the beginning of the second half, and unfortunately, it was a really close game, and they pulled away a little bit, and we've just got to execute better in those situations and play 4 quarters of good football.
In your 20-plus years of experience in the National Football League as a head coach, as a coordinator, as a position coach, is this team as young as we think it is, which it can be a great thing, obviously, for the future, but as you're watching this team compete, you're relying on a lot of young guys out there, it seems.
Well, the great thing about our young players that we drafted is that they love the game of football. And, everyone wanted to talk about Cam and the offseason program and how he was in the facility all the time and how he was here early, he stayed late. Well, the other rookies were with him. And some other players have gravitated into those meetings after practice. We finish at 4:45, whatever it is. You walk by the receiver room, and there's a bunch of guys sitting in there. But that's the way this rookie class has been since the day they got here. They love the game. They want to do everything they can. I think, give our personnel department a lot of credit for the type of players. You're trying to build a culture here when you bring new people in. And so I'm very pleased with the way they've developed. And, you talk about the growth of the team. From a week-to-week basis, how they're doing, because they're all rookies, and there's a learning curve they go through, some quicker than others, and it's just a matter of, getting the confidence, and you saw some players, and it's week-to-week, too. You see different players because the game plan's always different, or what the defense does. They take certain things away, but you saw Jim's touchdown, things like it's just great to see, but that goes back to his college days. When you see him in college, he ran that same route, week in and week out. So it's been on the call sheet, and we dialed it up this week, so it was great to see him do that.
Did it at Wisconsin and at the University of Florida, and now after being a 4th-round draft pick in the NFL, he's doing it for the Tennessee Titans. Before this last week, you and I really had one significant interaction, and it was on a practice field in Tampa Bay, Florida. Yeah. We were standing with John Gruden, who was watching practice with us, and we were watching with the man that he was calling Johnny Cash, Dave McGinnis, Coach Mack, who's always dressed in black. And John Gruden asked you about, he said, "Hey, Coach, who's this 17 over here? I like this 17. You know how he always is. And you immediately said, this guy's going to make an impact for us. This was back in early August when you were saying this. And you said in special teams, he's a hard worker. He has the right attitude. I mean, Chim Dike came to play professional football and immediately got better, and now you can count on him on the field.
It goes back to his want to. Like I mentioned all those guys earlier. But Jim wants to go out there, and he's been this way. And you can see You know, a lot of times when they first start, they play a little slow. And you can see when they start to learn the system and they develop a better understanding of what they want to do, you know, the position flexibility. You always want to tell receivers and skilled guys, learn the concepts of the plays and not just one spot. Now, some guys, you know, they stay in one spot more often than not, but when you understand the whole scheme of things and you can play fast, you instantly saw, you know, the speed and the tempo at what he was playing was changing, you know, from week to week, and that's the way he's played, you know. In the return game, he's been outstanding. And then it's just, you know, receivers are tough because it's, you know, he's not the only guy. You know, the return game, he's the guy getting it. But in the passing game on offense, there's week to week things change. But he's definitely made the most of every opportunity he's got.
Elikayo Manor has multiple catches in all 7 games that he's played in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
It's outstanding. Another guy who loves the game of football. All his hard work has paid off. You know, and I'll say the one thing about these receivers, too, and our running backs, is the way they block. You know, running backs, obvious in protection. TP's probably the best chipper on the edge in the league, the way he blocks, and Taj stepped up, did a great job. Tajay, excuse me. And they just, it's outstanding to watch. You love seeing that, but the receivers outside coming down and blocking linebackers, things like that, it's been outstanding.
You have Cam Ward at quarterback getting off to a hot start in this game with those young receivers. Had all 5 of his starting offensive line that he was expected to have going into the season in front of him. You mentioned Spears and Pollard. The more and more reps all of these guys get together, you would think it's going to yield a good result.
Yeah, it's 11 guys doing their job together. It doesn't matter what phase it is. It's 11 guys doing their job together, and great things will happen. But if you have one breakdown, you never know where it's going to be. It could be a protection up front. It could be a route. It could be a route depth, a route technique, anything on defense. There's a number of things that can come up. So it's just a matter of, you know, minimize. I mean, listen, we're all going to make some mistakes. Mm-hmm. As a play caller, you know, there's going to be some plays you want back. That's the game of football. But as players, hey, listen, there's a lot of talent out there. You're going to get beat in one-on-one matchups, but it's just a matter of doing your job the right way and giving your team the best chance to be successful. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, the New England Patriots last year, Coach, went 4-13,
Mm-hmm.
and now this year they're off to a 5-2 start. Drake May, their quarterback, is obviously playing at an elite level. I mentioned what they did last year because in many cases you have to go through those growing pains with a rookie quarterback. How's our rookie quarterback coming along?
Well, he's getting better. And, you know, the first half of the game, he played the game the way we really want him to. And but he's working extremely hard, and it's tough. There's been some great quarterbacks in this league that are Hall of Famers or going to be Hall of Famers. That early on in their career, there was the bumps and bruises they took. It's part of the game. There's so many things. When you play certain teams, they want to do so many things to confuse you, and there's game plans that happen from week to week. You make some changes, and the most important thing is you try to figure out what your players do best and go out there. But I really like the way we started as an offense and the way Cam moved the ball up and down the field early on in the game. And we got to be, you know, we got to do better in the second half.
His eagerness and willingness to learn is
Mm-hmm.
something that you've referenced a number of times. And as you're going through all of that, that's the most important thing, right, is your ability to look at what went on, good and bad, and be willing to do the work to change it.
Oh, yeah. In order to be great in this game, you got to love the game. You can't just go out there and wing it. You got to love it. And, you know, there's so much preparation that goes into every Sunday. And you've got to be prepared the right way. That's the number one. You got to love coming in, watching the tape, you know, doing all the film study, looking at the game plan, talking to your coaching staff, you know, figuring out, okay, how are we attacking this team? What are we doing? And then most importantly, learn from your mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes, big deal. Move on, next play mentality. You know, just chalk that one up. Okay, hey, if this happens again, because you're always striving for perfection, but it's tough to play a perfect game.
Defensively, Cedric Gray has 50 tackles in the last 4 games. He's a second-year player out of the University of North Carolina. In some ways, he really feels like more of a rookie because he didn't get a ton of reps last year. But this guy has played like a veteran this season.
Well, you talk about all those other players who are about loving the game. Ced loves to play the game. You see the way he practices out there. He's got a smile on his face, having a good time, flying around. You just really love the way that he plays downhill. When he sees a crease and he knows he's supposed to be somewhere, he goes there in a hurry, and he's going to hit you. So you just love what he's doing, and you love his want to. But I think it goes to show you all the hard work he's put into it, and the work with the staff and what they've done with him. So we're very pleased with the way he's playing.
Directly in front of him, you had your big, I guess you would call him a nose guard, at least in some defensive schemes, T'Vondre Sweat in the backfield with a sack against the Patriots.
Love to see it. It's great to have him back out there. You know, he battled. He worked extremely hard to get back out there, and he did a nice job for us. So just look for him to even get better this week.
Now, special teams-wise, Coach, in a couple of years in new Nissan Stadium, we're not going to have to worry about a front coming through, as we will be indoors in new Nissan Stadium. But at least for now and for next year, that is still a factor. The